let's get to our featured movie this week. Featured because, spoiler alert, this might be our gem of the week. I don't know, Bruce and Eric might disagree. We'll see. The Last Stop in Yuma County.
So I'll
I've
just
been
put
speaking
fives
for
on
10
all
minutes.
of ours, but go ahead.
Very, very good. Bruce, can you do me the honors and talk about the plot line? And
Oh, see, yeah, okay, I will, but tell me, I think, should I give it to the point of the basic conflict and kind of leave it at that?
I would say whatever you're comfortable with, just roll, just go with your instinct on
All
that
right.
because we need more of your beautiful voice into this podcast right now.
So this takes place in the 70s sometime, we're not sure when, and you've got Jim Cummings as a knife salesman pulling up to this desolate gas station that's kind of attached to a desolate diner. Apparently, it's the last stop in Yuma County. When he gets there, he immediately finds out we're out of gas. The truck hasn't shown up yet. We don't have any gas for you. And he's like, well, I'm almost out of gas. What am I going to do? He's like, well, you're going to have to go wait at the diner. Should be here any minute now. Just hang out at the diner, Mr. Cummings, whatever his name is in the movie, I don't remember. Mr. Cummings, hang out at the diner. And he's like, all right, okay. And he goes and hangs out at the diner. While he does that, or while he's getting out of his car, you're hearing, radio stuff going on. In the radio commercial, or not commercial, but news little blurb, you hear that there was a recent bank robbery. And keep a lookout for a Pinto with a dented back bumper. And while he's sitting there and he's talking to the woman who's the lone worker apparently at this diner, and there's a lone worker played by Faison Love at the gas station. While he's sitting there and he's kind of getting the lay of the land, guess what pulls up? A Pinto with a dented back bumper. And thus begins the tension. Now, we've talked about the bomb under the table, right? This one essentially is a whole movie. So this is two Hitchcock movies in one. It's the bomb under the table movie, because essentially you have the occupants of this Pinto, who are obvious bad guys. They're going to be in this diner as well. And then you have various people running out of gas as the movie goes on. Just adding more people to the diner from the birds, essentially, and that's the basic setup. And I won't say too much because I really want to hear your guys' opinion of it, but there's great style. There's tons of great characters, and I'm sure you're going to name all the actors, a lot of the actors that you'll recognize in this movie. And each one of them has a moment to shine. Simple concept, simple stakes, but not a simple, like, how is it going to wrap up? Because basically, as every new complication arrives, you're trying to figure out, how is this movie going to end? What's going to happen? I love this movie. I love it, love it, love it. It's this fantastic, simple storytelling. It's just great.
okay, the two bad people that Bruce Perky referenced, the plot summary mentions what these two bad people do, but we're going to just leave that out there. We're just going to assume, well, we'll just leave it to Bruce's explanation of the plot, which I think is really good. These two bad people are played by Richard Brake and Nicholas Logan. Eric Holmes mentioned these actors' names in his interview with writer-director Francis Galuppi. So you can check that out on our Cinematics YouTube channel for that. It's a really good interview with Francis. Movie also stars Jocelyn Donahue as the aforementioned waitress and sole employee currently at that diner. There's also Sierra McCormick. You might know her from The Vast of Night, and Michael Abbott Jr., who I believe, did he star? I could be wrong on
Death of Dick Long.
Death of Dick Long. Very good. Thank you, Eric Holmes. Faison Love, like Bruce Perky was mentioned, Faison Love is fantastic in this movie. Barbara Crampton, very good. I'm not going to say not much to do, but what she has to do is pretty cool too. So I think this is a really great movie, but great ensemble, really well done. I think we're going to get to Eric's review in a second, but I will say what I really loved about The Last Stop in Yuma County is Bruce Perky specifically mentioned it's two Hitchcock films in one. That is a clue to the movie, that without spoiling what the movie is going to bring. I will also add to that this type of film you may have seen 100 times before, but there is the way it's executed, especially in dealing with the characters, is very well done and very unexpected. And I think ultimately, why just surprising, makes me want to watch it again. And I think Eric's already seen it twice. He probably has a better perspective than me and Bruce because he's seen it twice. Eric, your thoughts on this film?
Well, first of all, you were asking what Jim Cummings' character's name is. Looking on IMDb, he's the top billed person on IMDb, and his name is the Knife Salesman, but everyone else has actual names. So
That's funny.
That's kind of weird. Yeah, I love the hell out of this movie, and it was just kind of like like Bruce said, a pot boiler, like the bomb under the table, just waiting to, we know it's going to go off. It's just a matter of how. I don't know if this, I don't think this is a spoiler because it happened during the opening credits, but I will say that that didn't connect with me until I watched it the second time. And I knew basically why the fuel truck hasn't shown. They tell you right off the bat during the opening credits, and it didn't even dawn on me. And then get to the end of the movie and go watch it again. I'm like, oh, duh.
Right. Yes.
It's right there. Um, and there are so many small details. Like this movie has like high rewatchability to it because like even though the story, like the characters are all great and the story seems pretty basic but done well, but there are so many tiny details in it that like if you go back and watch it again, you start picking up little things that you miss along the way. And it's just incredibly fun, very tense, and certain things happen in this that let you know that anything could happen.
100%.
We'll just kind of leave it there.
100%.
It's like,
Yes. Very good, Eric.
but
Very, very
yeah,
good.
this thing's fantastic. If you can see it in theaters, definitely would watch it in theaters. I can imagine watching this with a crowd, and it would be even better. Like in that kind of environment, because it's got kind of that sort of energy to it. Yeah, let me think of the things I don't like about it. Uh,
Right.
it ended. I didn't like that.
Right. Again, I think this is Eric. This is his first movie, Francis Galupi, his debut feature. This
I
is a
believe
call.
so.
Okay, so this is a calling card movie for him.
Oh
And
yeah.
we also have to mention one thing that we're all three of us in our mini reviews are missing. This movie is violent. There is violence that occurs. That's not a spoiler. It's also very funny. It's
Yeah.
also very, very funny. Very hard to do. Only filmmakers, I'm thinking like the Coen brothers can pull that off,
Yeah.
where you have something, yeah, where it's a pot boiler, like Eric was saying, but then there is a lot of comedy within all that tense violence and the inevitability of sadness that might come about. There's still a lot of comedy, which is hard to pull off, and they pull it off very well in this movie. I don't know, Bruce, final thoughts and ratings.
My
The last stop in Yuma County. Sorry, Bruce. Go ahead.
First of all, Cohen Brothers adjacent. That's great. Great thing to bring up. One thing I want to bring up. So everything we all agree. I think this is just crackerjack entertainment. Great suspense. Great, like you said. There's sly comedy. I would also contend if you want it, if you want to see it, you don't have to. It doesn't even need to be there. But if you want to see it, I would also contend. To me, this is a better depiction of what America is all about than Civil War. Think about it. Just leave it at that. When we get to the spoilers, I'll kind of get what I'm talking about.
All
But
right.
there's some pretty great stuff here. Also, I would say this may be the best use of the actual original recording of Roy Orbison's crying, which is
Yes.
saying a lot. It's pretty fantastic.
And I think one of the opening tracks is I forgot the name of the track. It's My Love Blue Blue My Love is Blue. I think that's I used to love that song all the time back in the day. So some really great use of music in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes, Bruce.
5 stars.
5 stars. Okay.
Or leaning towards classic.
Okay. 5 stars leaning towards classic. I don't have an original thought in my head. I'm just gonna echo what Bruce Berkey says. 5 stars for me. Perfect film. I think I will definitely watch it again. Just highest marks for me for The Last Stop in Yuma County. Eric Holmes.
Well, first of all, I also want to point out that the cast is used great in this. Like Jim
Yes.
Cummings is being the Jim Cummings character you go there to see. Richard Brake is being the creepy snake that you love watching him as. Faison Love is like the warm, kind of funny guy that you want him to be. Like everyone cast in this is like the perfect version of what they're, and I don't know, I want to say what they are, but like kind of what you expect from these actors. And these are like just the casting's brilliant in this, and the way that they're used in this is like Jim Cummings, Richard Brake, Faison Love. Like this is exactly what I want from them, and it's just this thing's great.
And we
And
also have to mention Jocelyn Donahue, who is pretty much the de facto lead in the film, and she's very, very good. Everyone's good,
yeah,
but she's good as the waitress because she has to be the anchor when all of this stuff is going down too. So
yeah, we can talk more about her later. I would say any fans of like if you watch Dusk Till Dawn and you love the first half of Dusk Till Dawn, this is kind of that. If you watch John Mossow's Breakdown with Kurt Russell, this is kind of that. Roadhouse 66, like those kind of movies, like stuck in the middle of nowhere, Midwest sort of type movies. Yeah, this is fantastic. This is 6.9. It cannot go any lower than 6.9. In
Six
fact,
point.
I wish it could have went higher because on second watch, I loved it even more. And I think this is just one of those movies, like I think you would watch it once and love it, and then you watch it again and then again and again. I imagine watching this like the 20th time. I'm like, just I could watch this movie every day.
Eric Holmes's favorite film of 2024 is currently The Last Stop in Yuma County. Am I overreaching there, Eric Holmes? If you
I
could,
mean, Mayhem's really good. So I'd like the
yes,
two are like neck and neck, I think.
yes. Wait, Bruce, I forget. Did you like Mayhem as well? You like Mayhem,
I
correct?
did like Mayhem quite a bit.
Yes,
Yes.
that, yeah. How come more people have not seen Mayhem, folks? That's a movie that we need to bring up more. Mayhem. We love that movie so much.
Hundreds of beavers.
Hundreds of, oh yeah, hundreds. Okay, okay, very good, Eric Holmes. See,
Yeah.
you have a very, very good memory. So again,
No, I don't, but I remember those.
in theaters and digital on May 10th. That is The Last Stop in Yuma County. Tell us what you think of this movie.